all this stuff just goes right to the chickens. Nice, guys. Good morning. Matt Dude here at New Hampshire Man, checking in with you again. This morning I am out here preparing my bed for the onions, which coincidentally is also what's going on over at newhampshireman.com. The latest post there is about growing food that you can eat all year long. I'm gonna tell you straight up, like, gardening's a lot of work and it's not easy, which I get into as well in that article, and how it blows my mind that almost everybody depends 100% on this global epic food supply system. And speaking personally, I know very little about how that system actually operates. It's totally cool. Like, I can go up here to a small town in Lee and I can buy food from Asia, South America, all over America. Like, that is super cool. Like, it's an amazing thing. But man, I don't know. Like, am I really comfortable dedicating my, like, being solely dependent on that for my all of my food, my subsistence? So if for no other reason, like the health benefits, the glory of being out here in the morning and after a heavy rainstorm, like, there's so much that's good here, but maybe it's a good idea to start learning how to grow your own food. God forbid if anything ever happened to that incredibly complex food supply system. Not a fearmonger, just a rationalist. So anyway, there's a bunch of crops that you can grow that are easy to grow that last all year long. And some examples of those, which I go into in more detail in the article, which I'll link to here, are onions, right? Like, you're not probably gonna have a meal of onions, but you're probably gonna eat a lot of onions over the course of a year. Garlic is another one. Again, these are like super easy to grow, super easy to store. Squash is one of those ones that actually does turn into a really sweet meal, and I choose butternut squash and spaghetti squash, and I try to put up 50 of them every year each. So that's like 2 dinners a week all year long. Potatoes fall into that too. They're pretty easy to grow. Like, the people complain about the potato beetle, but on this scale, it's manageable. Oh, beans as well, dried beans. I get into dried beans too. There is one last one I put on the list, and that's cabbage, which we have going right over here. And that's a bit of a stretch, but by growing cabbage and becoming a food fermenter, making sauerkraut, you can ferment all that, and it will last pretty much all year. And there's nothing that beats homegrown sauerkraut. I'll get into fermenting foods later. Like, it's awesome. Most of the sauerkraut you buy in the store is dead. Don't even bother. Well, whatever. It's up to you. I much prefer homegrown cabbage turned into home fermented sauerkraut. I eat it on everything. Eggs, hot dogs, sausage alone. It's so good. All right, so that's it. Like, grow some food. It's a good idea for all sorts of reasons. And if you're gonna take this, really legitimate amount of time and energy to grow food, consider growing food that will last all year long so that you can eat it all year. Check it out, man. New Hampshire Man. See you next time. This is all of the stuff that I'm pulling out of the garden and preparing the beds. And just bring it up here in the wheelbarrow and drop it off for these guys.